woke up really early this morning and had porridge for breakfast. And now we're going to sail from Smokehouse Bay to Whangarei. It was a windy sail up to Whangarei. I slept most of the way. Hannah told me that they saw dolphins.
Yep, it's a Great Barrier Dolphin greeting party again.
The journey started at 7 o'clock. We got up and said goodbye to Port Fitzroy and Great Barrier Island. We sailed out of the narrow entrance and Mum gave herself a black fingernail. We got out of Fitzroy and found ourselves crawling upwind. The sails were pulled into the maximum and we were powering into the waves. Although we were only going at 5 knots, it felt like we were going pretty fast. I wasn't feeling too well, so I tested my recently discovered technique of putting my face into 2 pillows. It kept the seasickness away and allowed me to sleep the entire way to Whangarei. The wind gradually built and we took our bearings and tried to pass upwind of an island. We eventually came around the top of Tauranga Island and changed course to Whangarei.
So we're about halfway through our trip. Got another 20 miles to go to Whangarei. Finding the breeze a bit more on the nose, so we're close hauled and it's a bit less comfortable than planned, but we're still making good progress.
We slowly crawled up to an island, and while we were going past it, Hannah saw a shark. We veered off and our container ship started to get closer and closer. Eventually, it anchored. We thought it was waiting for the tugboats to go to it. It was like we were having a race with it. We arrived at Whangarei sailing 2 knots through a strong tide. We tried to look out for markers and it was pretty hard. The ships were huge. They were carrying containers. There were thousands of logs that they were carrying. I wondered how they got all that wood.
While we were anchored in Whangarei, to our surprise, we found ourselves in the same bay as Mike, the man who'd given us the guitar in the previous video.
We got some footage. The water was so glassy and the water didn't make one ripple. Approaching the bridge was exciting. We called bridge control people so the bridge would lift up. All the traffic stopped so we could go past the bridge. The light turned green, which obviously meant we could go.
We started school at 7 o'clock and planned to finish so we could watch the scenery go past in Whangarei. When we got there, the gap between the 2 boats and us was really small and we had been plonked right underneath the huge Christmas tree.
Just restocking with a bit of food and stuff while we got the convenience of Pack and Save right across the road.
It's hard work.
Hard work, but it could be a lot harder.
My brother Daniel can sometimes be pretty weird. We were all sitting around and then Daniel started to do some strange twitches with his face. We soon found out he was checking himself out on his iPad.
And don't follow this.
What's going on here?
There's some little ducklings.
There is.
We got our busking money, split it, and went out for a curry.
So we're just at this Indian restaurant and we're having our drinks, and Matthew and Ashley are having a bit of a sculling competition.
I'm winning.
then got into mini-me mode and danced to the music around the room.
What's going on here, guys?
We just juiced chalk people on these, and as you can see, I was here in 1764.
I was here in 1990. I was here at 0 BC. I like turtles. It was still very windy. We sailed down to a bay at the Whangarei heads. We had a great view of the oil refinery.
Out there in the distance, we've got the Marsden Point oil refinery. Luckily, the wind's blowing the opposite way, so it's not a problem.
The rain had stopped, so we went ashore. When we got there, some people walked onto the beach with a net. We knew that they were catching piper. Hannah was nicknamed the Decapitator because she was ripping the piper's heads off. The people were using the piper as bait for catching snapper and kingfish.
It's a little bit wet out there today. We're kind of stuck in McGregor Bay inside the Whangarei heads, just waiting for this crappy weather to pass on by so we can head up to Tutukako or Matapouri. And I think this is the storm before the calm. What's up, school?
Going to school.
Go school.
Is school cool?
Rubbish well used.
Is it really cool?
Yeah. No, it's quite sucky.
Oh.
What do we got here, Daniel?
So this was the first draft of the poster.
Yep, that's a
And
good
as you
poster.
can see, it's quite bad.
Yeah, well, it's a draft. Yeah, it's
And
good.
then, so then there's this one.
Then there's a middle version. Yep,
Which
got a bit better. Yep,
got a bit better.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right, and then
And
there's
then
the.
this was the final version.
Look at that. Oh yeah, good work. Good result, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
We left Whangarei and it was a long haul up to Tutukaka. The girls were sleeping while Matthew and I were sitting up, and then halfway the girls came up and Matthew and me went and had a sleep. It was very similar to the sail from Port Fitzroy, upwind and into waves. We'd been sailing for a while, and when the girls were out, Revillo passed us. Revillo is the boat Mum and Dad sailed to Tonga on.
What is this display?
Well, we just come ashore at Matapouri and about to climb the steep hill over to the mermaid pools.
Oh, cool.
Come on, let's get to base camp.
We carried the kayaks up the beach, then did a steep climb up the steep hill. It was very slippery, so we had to be careful.
Looking down on the water, it was so clear. We went for a swim and went looking for the octopus we had seen the time before. All we saw was some little fish.
We had just come back from the mermaid pools and had a race. We were trying not to get wet.
But you got paint already?
We're poking our noses up into the Matapouri Creek, trying not to go aground because it's very shallow. Kind of fun. At the moment it's shallow and it's low, so duck down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Still deep? Right, how narrow are we up here, guys? Pretty cool, isn't it? What's up here? A house? Ute.
Not near it.
Here we go.
There's a crocodile in the
Are we okay?
The rocks are just there. Rocks are there.
Right, well, we're not going to go on the rocks. Ideally.